What is up, guys? It is Flash back with some more charts and another video. It's Monday, April 21, about 5:36 p.m. Eastern. Gonna go through the tickers as I normally do today, guys. Give you guys an update, just my perspective on the charts. Don't take anything I say as financial advice, right? But these are just my perspective. These are my guidelines, and this is kind of a lot of other things I'm seeing on the internet, primarily on X, YouTube, trying to gather other resources, right? So, for example, like the power law indicator, the rainbow wave indicator, right? The cycles, the time analysis, those are all stuff I'm kind of gathering, right? And just kind of packaging up into one perspective. So, I hope you guys find it valuable, or at least value a different perspective. I don't know if it's really that different. Just really calling it like I see it. But drop me a like if you guys find this helpful. And yeah, let's get to it. So here we have Bitcoin on the daily time frame, with the rainbow wave kind of overlaid in the background, right? And so this core green line, that's the core power trend, the core power law. And looks like we kind of came down, bounced pretty hard off of it, right? And now we're kind of finding our way up. So I do think there's a top phase. We're going to find ourselves, later this year somewhere in this red zone, or just short of it or overshoot it a little bit. But I am not really expecting it to go too far beyond this zone, right? I think we're going to stay kind of in this wave area for the foreseeable future. That may change, but I am a believer in the power trend, the power law, and I don't think we're going to get too far away from this core green line, is what I'm saying. Another perspective of this is Bitcoin now on the weekly. This is the same indicator, just kind of took the bubble phases off and I put it in the regular scale instead of the logarithmic scale. So this is just a different way of thinking about Bitcoin. Like, it's a hard, sound money growing day over day, week over week, month over month, right? And this is a representation of that growth. So I do think we're going to, again, follow the green trend, the green power law. It's the same line. This green line is the same line as this, except this is on the weekly. Kind of gives you just a different perspective, right? All right, so let's get into the Bitcoin on the daily time frame. We'll zoom in. I haven't moved any of these lines really. We have our core, consolidation line here that we are now out of. We have this green downsloping resistance line that we're now beyond, and then we're kind of in this blue channel, right? Where we found ourselves in a similar channel when we've exited these domed consolidations in the past, right? So I'm just kind of matching up what price did recently, and just applying it to where we're at today. So if we zoom into the 4 hour, for example, we're kind of hitting our heads on the middle of this blue trend line, right? So I think there is some validity to this line so far. And if we zoom out a little bit and we take into consideration the time cycles, again, from David F at Tradinghurst on X, brought these to our attention here. If we line this up, we're right here. So I do think, I was trying to kind of map out price action, maybe last week or the week before. Like, I wanted to see us kind of be aggressive coming out of here. I think we kind of got that a little bit, right? We got some, but then we kind of went sideways a little bit, and now we're kind of seeing one last leg. And so, if we round out a little bit right here and maybe retest the lower end of this channel, I'm not really sure, right? Just kind of looking at the data as it comes in on a daily basis. But I will say, if I think this time cycle does have validity, this is the 30-day cycle in Bitcoin, and we're nearing kind of a topping phase, right? So, it doesn't always give us like the top every time it happens, right? But it's general market movements. The heartbeat, the rhythm of the market kind of behaves in this way. At least that's what the data is telling us right now. So, I wouldn't trade off of this necessarily. I mean, maybe you could, but generally, I think we're doing okay so far. I mean, we're kind of looks like we're getting sucked up to the upside, right? This is the bridge to Narnia, or the bridge to Terabithia, I've called it in the past, right? So this trend line is going to take us, I think, we want to break out of this blue trend line now. And again, hopefully reach the red phase of the bubble cycle. Another thing I wanted to do, as usual, is just add the global M2 days offset indicator. And I don't know where it went. There it is, sorry. So let's try to line this up. You know, we'll actually put the power law on too. And I mean, global M2 has been skyrocketing, guys. There's no question about that. So it's just a matter of if Bitcoin can follow suit. And this price action is kind of telling me that there is some validity to this, right? So if we match it up, you know, this isn't perfectly matched up, but I mean, global M2 is literally telling us, you know, there is going to be a bubble phase, and it's exactly what we want to occur. So I think we just got to stay patient. You know, I think we're going to find out if Bitcoin does indeed follow global M2. I mean, there is some correlation, there is some good data behind it. So I think we're right there. It's just a matter of patience, stack sats, and upgrade the world, right? Another way to look at this too is just the regular one that Colin Talks Crypto made. We'll hide my rendition of it. So if we squeeze this, you gotta watch Colin Talks Crypto's video. He does a way better job than I can about this, but you know, it's either a 75-day offset, I think it is, or it's a 108-day offset. So if we really zoom in here, you know, we may come down again once more, kind of like I was talking about, or we may just keep shooting up. You know, time will tell, but I'll keep tracking it for you guys, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, now let's look at gold. So this is gold on the daily time frame. I mean, if we zoom way out to the weekly, I got a lot of lines on here, but this is some bigger picture stuff, right? So gold, I think, is telling us something that, I don't know, it's sniffing out inflation, sniffing out the loss of purchasing power over time. You know, there's a great post about gold potentially leading Bitcoin's move. And so again, if gold is doing this, global M2 is doing this, you know, you have to think that Bitcoin is going to catch some of that liquidity, some of that sniffing out of the loss of purchasing power of the US dollar. So I do think Bitcoin is going to follow suit. But no doubt about it, gold is going to the moon right now. So be interesting to see what happens. I don't really have too much else to say about gold. I mean, it's a hard asset. It's not as hard as Bitcoin, right? But it definitely has been around longer and has a bigger market cap. So I think it's worth following. We'll also look at Bitcoin measured in gold. This is on the 2-day time frame, 2 daily time frame. And again, we've squeezed down into this little triangle, I guess, within this channel. And it looks like, you know, we're trying to pop our head out of this yellow line. I could probably adjust this a little bit maybe. But if we can break out against gold, and gold is running like that, I mean, Bitcoin's going to make a powerful move in the near future. We'll zoom out to the weekly just to get the bigger perspective. Like this is gold, Bitcoin measured in gold on the weekly time frame. I mean, this is what Bitcoin does. It does follow a power law against gold as well. So it's worth noting. All right, now let's get into what we all care about, strategy, MSTR. This is strategy on the daily. I haven't moved this blue trend line. Looked like we tried to poke our heads out of this blue trend line today. You know, I could probably move this up a little bit. I'm not really going to move it too much. We can look at it a couple different ways. We can put it on the line. So the line, we're still kind of in that blue downtrend. And then we can pull up some indicators, which I like to do from time to time, especially this one. The distance percentage from the 30 period moving average. A couple different ways we could draw this. But I mean, we're right there, guys. I mean, this is what it did before. It's going to tell us when it's breaking out, and I think we trust the breakout, right? If we've got M2 leading the way, we got gold leading the way. We just need Bitcoin to really start making its move, and MSTR could potentially lead that move, right? So we'll even pull up MSTR measured in Bitcoin. This is like one of my favorite charts, right? Because this really tells us that, yes, MSTR is going up and to the right against Bitcoin. It's outperforming Bitcoin because it has its strategy, because it acquires Bitcoin and leverages it and has its strategy, right? But we're still, you know, nothing much has changed. We're still in this yellow bowl accumulation. So we really just want to get above this green one and start making our run. But this looks good, guys. I mean, it's just price action is just doing its thing. I even see on here, you know, you got a shoulder, a head, maybe a shoulder here, right? What do we have back here? We kind of just had like a double bottom almost back here, or an ascending triangle. With this one, it's tough. It's difficult because we had such a massive run here. Price is now consolidating kind of with all in here. You know, it's not doing like, it's not up here, but it's setting a new floor. This is the new floor. That's a lot of drawings. But I mean, it looks good, guys. I don't have many other words. And then we can look at strategy measured in gold. Not much has changed here. Still testing this top of the cup and handle, if you will. And then we'll look at Misty as well. So Misty on the 6 hour. Misty on the 6 hour is starting to poke its head out from this green trend line. In the past, when it did this, it marked like the start of that mini bull market in MSTR. So thinking that Misty could know something here. Well, time will tell. And then last but not least, this is MSTR measured in Tesla. Just kind of a fun ratio to look at. Let me know if you guys have any other ratios you want me to take a look at, but this is kind of my perspective. You know, MSTR is outperforming Tesla. You know, up and to the right, it's a rocky, bumpy ride, but start down here, you end up here, you're going up and to the right. So on the bigger scheme of things, you know, it's tough because we really just want to start measuring when MSTR started buying Bitcoin, which was like right here. So it's really like this. This is what we want to look at. So that looks pretty good. I like the look of that chart. All in all, guys, you know, Bitcoin, hard money, sound money. Keep following the power trend. I think it'll do you well if you don't mess it up. But this is Flash, quick Monday update. Drop me a like. See you guys in the next one.